Welcome back to Now I See on CYC. I'm Anna Choi. Today we'll be continuing with Barnaby's incredible story. Welcome, Barnaby.
Thank you, Anna.
So continuing from the last episode, I want to go into your relationship with Angela's family now, after her passing.
Our relationship was always pretty good before Angela got sick even, but one of the biggest things was that when Angela passed away, her sister was about 8.5 months pregnant, or even more. She gave birth to a little boy about 2 weeks after Angela passed away. And she's already got a 3-year-old son as well. And the relationship I have with her 2 boys, and even my niece and nephews from my brothers and my family are a lot stronger since Angela's passing. I think it just makes you realise how valuable the good things in your life are. So I spent a lot of time at my sister-in-law and brother-in-law's house, just playing with their boys, see her mother a fair bit. We actually celebrated her birthday a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, just all the relationships in my life I've realised are much more valuable since I had something that was so beautiful that's not there anymore. The things that are still there, you make sure you make the most of.
And what is your life like now?
My life is, I still feel, I'm too proud a husband to say my life is really good now, because my wife's not there, so it can't be awesome. But I've had so many things go well for me since Angela's passing. I do some keynote speaking, and I spoke at 2 church conferences over the last 3 weeks. I've just been booked to speak in Queenstown, New Zealand next July. I've been asked to speak on a cruise in the South Pacific in September. And I've just gone back to full-time work at the ABC television 2 weeks ago. So everything in my life, besides that one massive thing, is going really well, almost flourishing, I'd say.
And what was your relationship with the church after the departure of Angela?
Well, I still find I went to church and was so enamoured with the church because of the people, and I still go back to the church because the people are so supportive, and I still speak to people that I wouldn't have otherwise known if I hadn't met Angela and come into the church. So my relationship with the church and the people in it is still as strong as it was before Angela's passing. I was at church on Sunday, spoke at those 2 church conferences, still speak to the priests from St George on the phone. So yeah, it's still as strong as it was before anything dramatic happened.
Did you ever think about leaving the Coptic church?
Never. I've been asked that a few times by people, but as I said before, that my first impression of the church was that the people there cared. They cared what you're doing and how you're going, and really cared for your welfare. And I wouldn't leave the church ever because of that. Because when you walk in there, you just feel like it's home. And seeing how people looked after my wife especially, and myself and her family when she was struggling, makes everything in the church. There's no way in the world I would ever say, no, I'm not going back.
So what are some of your favourite memories in the church?
My favourite memories are some of the funny ones about being a blow-in that has no idea what the standard practice is.
But you can get away with it.
You can get away with, probably the one that stands out is the going in with a GoPro camera behind the altar and going, hey, what's happening over there? The other thing I couldn't get used to was when I used to go and shake priests' hands. Everyone else would go and try and kiss their hand and they'd take it away. I just went to shake it and they all had no idea why I was doing what I was doing, but I think they've all got used to it now, and we just go, g'day mate, how you going? What else? There's just so many. Oh, that's the other thing. I was telling the story in one of the previous episodes about how Angela came and sat with me on the left-hand side of the church. And I thought it was taboo, I thought it was forbidden. But then I was at church a few weeks ago and 2 friends of mine were sitting in front of me, a guy and his wife. I was thinking, oh, she's getting in so much trouble. But then she came and got communion on what I thought was the men's side, and no one said anything. No one batted an eyelid. I said to her, what's going on? How'd you get away with that? She said, well, there's nothing to get away with. Like,
it's just a
it's
culture
just a
thing.
tradition. Like,
Yeah.
there's no doctrinal reason why people do it. Just they do, and no one really cares if you don't do it. So there's a lot of little getting used to things, but I think if knowing the people in the church, they've seen me do things. Like a couple of times I've gone to get holy water after communion without having the wine first. So at communion, where there's only one priest, so he does the bread, and then I've gone straight to the holy water, and no one's ever said, hey, you can't do that, that's wrong, that's not in order. They've explained, it's not time for that yet, you've got to have the wine first. So little getting used to things I still find funny, and I'll probably still be finding those out
on your way, on your experience. Yeah. So you've got diabetes, you had a stroke,
mm-hmm.
and now you've lost your wife. What gives you hope these days?
It's probably one word: children. I've been so blessed with the life I've lived since meeting my wife, and all the exposure I've had to kids since has been so beautiful. At the Western culture wake, so actually after the funeral, not the Azar, before the funeral, my sister-in-law got some helium balloons and gave to the kids to go out on the front lawn and let them up into the sky and say they were going up to Angela. So the kids went out there and let them up, and we're all laughing and running around and saying how beautiful it was. And that, to me, I just like the innocence of children and their realization that a person's soul is in heaven is such a beautiful, reassuring thing. My nephew, he's about 3 years old. Whenever he sees a butterfly, he says, oh, there's Auntie Angela. So, and that just breaks my heart every time. That's so beautiful. And whenever we go out for a walk, he'll just grab a random flower out of a random garden and give it to me and say, that's for Angela. And that breaks my heart as well. So I try and do the same thing to my sister-in-law's son. Where Angela is buried, there's a tree growing out of the middle of all her plots. So I'd grab a flower off there and take it home to Johan, his name is, the 3-year-old boy. And I give it to him and say, there you go, that's from Auntie Angela. And I think he's slowly cottoning on to the concept behind it. And that really reassures me, just seeing kids understanding that Angela's body may no longer be here, but her legacy and her life is still living on somewhere. That really reassures me.
So unfortunately, that will be the last episode with Barnaby. Thank you so much for coming in today. We've learnt so much from your story. It's truly touching and inspirational.
Thank you, Anna. It's been a pleasure being here. I've said to people since Angela's passing little snippets of what I've just told you, but in little 15-second chunks. I've never been able to sit with someone for a long period of time and just blurt it all out, and it feels really good, so thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Please tune into our next episode of Now I See on CYC for a brand new guest. Thank you and God bless.